Good morning, students. In our previous class, we had started chapter 4, separation of substances, in which we had first discussed the meaning of separation and then why do we need to separate the substance. Substance means the matter which is present in our surrounding. Separation means to set apart. And why do we need to separate the substance? First, if anything is unwanted, that unwanted material should be separated out from the wanted one. Second one, to make the substance pure. These two reasons need to do the separation of the substances. After that, we had discussed the classification of substances on the basis of their combination of the particles. They are classified as pure substance and mixture. Pure substance, it is made up of only one kind of particles. The separation cannot be possible because the particles in the pure substance, they are chemically combined with each other with strong bond, and the ratio of each component is fixed, whereas the mixtures are made up of mini particles, 2 particles, 3 particles or more particles. They are not chemically combined with each other. Each component of the mixture, they have their own identity, and hence separation can be possible. The pure substance, as there is no separation, hence it is considered as the pure one, whereas the mixtures, as their components have their own identity and separation can be done by different methods. That's why the mixtures are considered as impure. Clear? And after that, we had discussed the types of mixture, the homogeneous mixture and the heterogeneous mixture. Now, homo and hetero, just keep this in your mind. Homo means same, means the particles are equally distributed throughout the mixture, whereas hetero means different, means the particles are not uniformly distributed. We can understand this type of difference by example. Take 2 beakers, fill those 2 beakers with water. Label it as first and second. Pour some sand particles in the first beaker, whereas the sugar crystal in the second one, and stir it and leave it on the table for some times untouched. What will you observe? The first beaker where you have added sand, the sand will not dissolve in the water. It will sink and settle down at the bottom of the beaker. This is a type of mixture where the sand is insoluble and sand is settling down at the bottom. Means the distribution of sand is not in uniform way. Whereas in the second beaker where we have added sugar crystals, what will happen? Sugar will dissolve. It is a mixture, but here the sugar crystal is uniformly distributed throughout the water, means top layer, middle layer or the lower layer. In any layer of the water, if you taste, you will get sweet in taste. The reason, the sugar is equally dissolved in all part of the water. So the sugar in the water is an example of homogeneous mixture, whereas sand in water, it is an example of heterogeneous mixture. This much topic we had discussed in the previous class. One more thing, just that I found when we were discussing in our previous class, the ratio of the components in the pure substance, the ratio of the component is fixed. CO2, carbon dioxide, where one atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen, they combined together to make one carbon dioxide. This is fixed, so it is a pure substance. But the amount of sand dissolved in the water, it is not necessary that every time the amount of sand will be fixed. Clear? So in the mixture, the ratio of the component is not fixed, whereas the components or the particles of the pure substance, it has fixed ratio. Now the doubt is clear? Very good. Today we will go with the methods of separation, and in this chapter we will learn only the physical method of separation. Once again, a question must have come to your mind. What is the meaning of physical? Physical means by appearance. Okay? Physical means by appearance, shape, size, etc. On that basis, we will separate the mixture in both homogeneous and sometime in heterogeneous mixture. Clear? Now see. Today is the lecture number 2. Today, 5th of the June, this is our lecture number 2, and in which we will deal with the method of lecture number 2, separating the components of the mixture. This one also we had discussed in the previous class. There are 3 types of mixture. Solids with solids, means all the components are in the solid state. Number 2, solids with liquids, means when the solid is mixed with the liquid, then what methods we will apply to separate them. Number 3, liquids with liquids. If 2 liquids are mixed together, then how we will separate them? What methods will be applied? So here we will do only physical method. Okay? Physical means just by appearance. Clear? Chemical means the constituent. We are not talking about the inner constituent. Just by the physical means outer appearance, we will try to separate these mixtures by different methods. The first one is mixture of solids with solids. The hand picking method. The word itself cleared the meaning. Picking of substances with the help of the hand. This method is done by our precious hands. And when it is possible, when the mixture, in the mixture, the unwanted material, its quantity is small. You must have seen your mother when she is preparing for making lunch. She used to clean the rice before boiling. She is picking all the unwanted material like pebbles. Mostly the white pebbles are present in the rice. So what your mother used to do? She used to pick the white pebbles which is present in the rice so that it will not harm you. You know, the quantity is small. Imagine if the quantity of that unwanted material will be in the higher side, then what will happen? Then it will be a time-taking job and tiring job. So, hand picking is only possible when the unwanted things are in a small quantity. Second one, the color should be different, or there should be some difference in the shape and size and sometimes texture. Last class, we read about the adulteration, where I gave you an example of how the dishonest people, they are adding white stones in the rice. Even I sometimes can become so confused when I am picking the stones from the rice. because it is very much similar to the color of the rice. But when I touched the small stone which was in the rice, I felt there is some change in the texture, means that pebbles are a bit rough than the rice. Texture means whether the things are smooth or rough. Clear? Example, the pebbles in rice, very simple example, and the grass from the mint leaves. Have you seen when your father or mother is bringing the mint leaves or the coriander leaves, 1 or 2 grass you must be getting from that bundle. What we do? We used to pick it out from that bundle because grass is not edible. Clear? So hand picking is the first one, where if 2 mixtures are in a solid state, like one is pebble, another one is rice. If both are mixed together, the very simple method, we will pick the pebbles from the rice by using our hand. And this method is known as hand picking. Very common and very simple method. Clear to you? Number 2. The number 2 is threshing. Threshing is usually done by the farmers. Threshing is usually done by the farmers. Now what happens in the threshing? Separation of grains from the stalk. What is the meaning of stalk? The crops, fasal. The crops after harvesting, when it gets mature, it gets harvested and it is bound in a bundle. It is known as stalk. These stalk are beaten. These stalk are beaten and the grains are separated. Now what happens? In your next class, standard 8, you will read the chapter next to next class. In standard 8, there is a chapter agriculture. But now also I am going to just give a summary of this method agriculture. Now what happens? First one, preparation of the soil bed. The soil is prepared for cultivation. After that, the seeds are selected, healthy seeds are selected and it is sown in the field. Then the seed germination takes place and the water and manure is added so that it will support the plant for the better growth. And after, when the crops matured, then it is harvested. Harvested means it is being cut by the farmer either by manual or by machine. After cutting, the plants, the crops are dried in the sunlight, which is known as stalks. The dried stalks are beaten this way. The dried stalks are beaten like this. Okay? And after beating, what will happen? The grains from the crop, it will drop down. This is the method of separation from the crop. And hence after that it is stored. This method is known as threshing. Now what happens in the threshing? The dried stalks are beaten to separate the grains from the large farm, and it is being done by the thresher. There is a machine which is known as combine. Combine is a farm machine which does the function of both harvesting as well as threshing. Now a question must have come to your mind. Ma'am, what is the meaning of harvesting? Now you can see harvesting, the process of cutting and gathering the ripened crop. Ripened means matured. The process of cutting, katna, and gathering, ikattha karna. The ripened crop is called harvesting. And it is sometimes done manually. If the farm is in a small size, then it is done by the manually also. Means the man itself, the farmer himself does the work of cutting the crops. But if the farm is in big in size, then it is done with the help of some machine. That combine, a farm machine used for both harvesting and threshing. Now you can see hand picking picture I have made. It can be used for separating slightly larger sized impurities. Quantity cannot be very large. Now you see this is the rice plate and some stones can be visible in the picture. This could be picked up with the help of the hand. So second one also we have done. The third one is the winnowing. What is the meaning of winnowing? Winnowing, it is a process of separation which is done by the wind blow method. Now what happens in winnowing? It is the process of separation of the heavier components from the lighter components of a mixture. Once again, just note down, it is the process of separation of the heavier components. Now again, the two components are there. How many components are there? The two components are there. The first one is the heavier in weight and the second one is the lighter in weight. These two components are separated by this method. What happens in the winnowing? In the winnowing, the person used to stand on a height, okay, and after that she is keeping a plate like structure, which is in Hindi we called it soup. They used to keep it like this, okay, and all the grains with the husk, it is kept over there, and they are standing in the direction of the wind, and just they are shaking the soup. Now what happens? The lighter one goes away from the farmer and the heavier grains drop down closer to the farmer or the person who used to do this. This is known as winnowing. And you can see in the picture also. Here you see there is a base where a person is standing. The person is holding a plate like structure, which in Hindi we call it soup, and he is standing in the direction of the wind. The wind is blowing in this direction. Now you can see the heavier component, which is known as grains. The grains are falling very close to the person, whereas the lighter husk, bhusa, it goes away from the person because it is lighter in weight, hence the wind used to blow it away from the person. So this method is known as winnowing. Winnowing is actually done in the farm to separate the grains from the husk. See, after harvesting, the crops are dried, okay, and after drying, the stalks are beaten so that the grains will fall down from the crops. Harvesting and threshing. Now these grains contain the husk also, and we want to eat, we use only the grain particles. So again we have to do the more separation. Then what we will do? We will use this winnowing method, and with the winnowing method we will separate the grains from the husk. Okay. The next one is your very common one, which you must have seen your mother. Chalani, what that we call in Hindi. Sieving done by sieve. Sieve is the apparatus which is made up of the iron wires. Now you see, sieve. A sieve is a wire mesh fixed tightly in a frame. Now it looks like this. There is a frame, okay, which is made up of iron, and there is a net-like structure which is again made of the iron. Now the plastic sieve is also we are getting. This is sieve, which is in Hindi what we called it chalani. Okay. Now it is used to separate the components which have different sizes. What your mother used to do before making the chapati? She used to sieve the flour. Now what happens then? That choker, that roughage, it comes, remains on the sieve, whereas the fine particles of the flour, it goes down from the small holes of the sieve. So sieving is to separate the components of the different sizes. Now what are the examples? The sieving of the wheat flour, sieving of the sand. Even you can see on the construction site also, large sieves are kept over there to clean the sand, because sand contains the pebbles and the gravels. So they used to clean the sand with that sieve to remove the bigger particles of sand and gravels. So sieves are found of different types and which have different hole sizes also. In Kerala, the cashew nut, kaju, the cashew nuts are again separated by the method of sieving. the jewelers, they used to separate the pearls by the method of sieving. So these two are very important, which always comes in the exam. In Kerala, the cashew nut is separated by the method of sieving, and jewelers, they used to separate the pearls again by the sieving method. The next one, the fourth one, is the magnetic separation. Magnet, very familiar word to you. Magnet, chumbak. Now, this method is done by the magnet. If you have an mixture of sand and pebbles, if you have the mixture of sand and pebbles, can you separate it by magnetic by using magnet? No idea, na? Number 2, if you have the sand and iron nails, these two are mixed, can you separate it by the magnet? Yes. See, two type of mixtures are here. In these mixture, these two particles are non-magnetic in nature. Non-magnetic means they cannot be attracted by the magnet. Whereas in the second mixture, sand and iron nails are present. The iron nails are magnetic in nature. It can be attracted by magnet. Remember one thing. Magnetic separation only can be done when one of the substance should be magnetic in nature. Sand and iron nails. Sand is non-magnetic, but iron nail is magnetic. So if these two are mixed together, just take a piece of magnet and rotate over it. What will happen? The magnet will catch all the or attract all the iron nails. The iron nails will cling to the magnet. But sand and pebbles are there, and then you are using a magnet. Impossible, because sand and pebbles both are non-magnetic in nature. So for a magnetic separation, one component should be magnetic in nature. Then only a magnet can be used to separate the components. Here you can see the example, iron scrap from garbage. Magnetic separation where a magnet is used, iron scrap from garbage. From that kachra, if any iron scrap is kept, then a big magnet is brought near the garbage and they collect the iron scrap. These iron scraps are recycled and then it is reused. The next one is a sublimation. Mostly what happens when you take ice from the refrigerator, keep an ice cube on your palm, what will happen? The ice will slowly melt. Yes, because the heat of the palm or your body, the temperature of your body will start melting the ice cube. Now see here what I want to tell you. The ice cube, which is in the solid state, when it comes out, when it is brought out of the refrigerator, it changes into water. Water is in which state? Liquid. And when this water is further heated, when we boil the water, what will happen? The water will change into vapor. Vapor is in which state? It is in gaseous state. Now see, solid first changes into liquid and then liquid changes into gaseous state. But what happens in sublimation? In sublimation, there are some solids which directly changes into gaseous state. Once again, I just want to tell you. Yeah? Mostly the solid changes into liquid and then it changes into gas. Generally it happens on increasing the temperature. But in the case of sublimation, there is no liquid state. Means solid directly changes into gas on heating. Clear to you? On heating. Now try to understand what is sublimation. Camphor and naphthalene. Two names I have written here. These two substances directly sublimes into gaseous state. Camphor is in solid state. Naphthalene is also in solid state. Camphor, kapoor, you must have seen. When we lit a camphor piece, what happens? The camphor directly changes into the fumes. The fumes are in which state? The fumes are in gaseous state. Naphthalene that you keep in your wardrobe to protect your clothes from the insects, that phenyl ki goti that you call in Hindi. You must have observed, if you keep a big size of naphthalene balls, after some days it reduces into very small size. Why it happens? Because slowly this solid structure, it changes into vapor, that gaseous state. There is no liquid state in between them. Camphor to fumes, big size to small size. Means in between solid and gas there is no liquid state, and this method is known as sublimation. The process in which a solid changes directly into its gaseous state on heating is called sublimation. Clear to you? The process in which a solid changes directly into its gaseous state on heating is called sublimation. Example I will tell you later on. First of all, try to understand from this diagram. This is a funnel. Funnel. This is a funnel which is in the inverted shape. What is the meaning of inverted? Ulta. Clear? This is the narrow portion of the funnel which is closed with the cotton balls, so that the fumes will not escape. This is your china dish. China dish on which the funnel is kept inverted. This is the wire gauge, the stand where we have kept this whole apparatus. This is your tripod stand. Tripod stand, and this one is the flame of the burner. This is your burner. Now one mixture is kept here. Which mixture? Sand plus camphor. Both are in solid state. Sand is in solid state. Camphor is also in solid state. Now what happens? When we supply heat to the mixture, the sand will not show any change. But the camphor, which is in solid state, it starts producing the fumes on heating. This is the fumes of the camphor. And after some times, all the camphor which was present in the sand will changes into fumes. When the fumes will touch the surface of the funnel, it will cool down and deposited here. It will deposited here. It will stick to the surface of the funnel. Now remove this heat. Now see, the camphor is present to the wall of the funnel, whereas sand is remain behind. Separation is done or not? Separation is done. So example is, separation में क्या हो जाएगा? Separation, sand, the mixture of sand and camphor. Sand and camphor. Clear to you? One more point. Sublimation only possible when out of two components, one component should be sublime, whereas another should not be sublime. See, camphor and naphthalene, if both are mixed, then the separation will not be possible, because camphor will also sublime, naphthalene will also sublime. So we will not be able to separate. Sublimation is only possible when one mixture it should sublime, whereas another mixture should not sublime. Okay, now this is the time for the homework. Note down the homework is define, combine, harvesting, threshing, then winnowing, sublimation and C. Question number 2. Can we separate a mixture of camphor and naphthalene by sublimation method? If yes, why? If no, why? Do these homework in your homework copy. That's all in today's class work. Thank you. Bye bye.